This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, a handful of protesters blocked the entrance to Balance Agri-Nutrients this morning near Mosgiel. The 30th anniversary of the mass shooting at Aramoana was commemorated at the weekend. And if you want to have your say on Queenstown's Ladies' Mile, the deadline for submissions closes this evening. Tēnā koutou katoa, ngā mihi o te ahiahi nei, kia ora, I'm Simon Anderson. Protesters blocked trucks from entering a Dunedin fertiliser depot this morning. The 24 Extinction Rebellion campaigners say the Balance Agri-Nutrients chief executive has blood on their hands.
Free Western Sahara!
About 15 people gathered at the entrance of Balance Agri-Nutrients near Mosgiel this morning as part of a nationwide protest to stop the company and Ravensdown from purchasing phosphate from a disputed area in Western Sahara. Protest spokesman Jack Brazil says the fertiliser extraction near Morocco is funding a war.
So recently Morocco ended their ceasefire, so this is putting Sahrawi lives on the line in an even more brutal occupation. We've had friends in Western Sahara send us videos and pictures documenting the brutality and violence they're enduring.
He says mining of Western Sahara's lands has placed more than 170,000 people in refugee camps since the 1970s. And Ravensdown and Balance are among the last of the independent companies in the world still purchasing phosphate from Western Sahara. In 2018, the High Court of South Africa seized a shipment of blood phosphate heading to New Zealand.
So we're here today to close down Balance for human rights abuses and to send a message strong and clear across Aotearoa today that we will no longer tolerate this continued participation in the global edifice of the supply chain.
Balance says it's conscious of the different perspectives around Western Sahara and has taken its lead from the United Nations. Balance says its management and directors visit the Western Sahara on a regular basis to evaluate compliance with both the UN framework and its own legal and ethical criteria. In Dunedin, the South Today.
The Tribal Nations Motorcycle Club held a mass motorcycle ride from Dunedin to Milton on Saturday to raise awareness of teen suicide issues. About 130 motorcycles took part in the Riders Against Teen Suicide ride. This year also saw the expansion of a family fun event in Mosgiel, which had proved successful last year. Organisers say more than $3,000 was raised for charity on Saturday, up from about $2,000 last year. The funds will help support suicide awareness training and other suicide prevention and awareness measures in Otago. It's been 30 years since Aramoana resident David Gray killed 13 people in the typically quiet seaside village. Those who Gray gunned down on the 13th of November 1990 were remembered on Saturday at the Aramoana Memorial.
Remembering the 13 people gunned down by David Gray on November 13th, 1990 in Aramoana. Retired Senior Constable Paul Buchanan organised a weekend of events to honour the anniversary of one of the deadliest shootings in New Zealand's history.
One word, be humbling. Just get the guys back together again. I've got my family here with me, which is fantastic.
Candles for each of the people slain circle the monument near flowers and tributes. Some from direct family members, others from the wider community. Buchanan says organising the weekend's events brought memories, both good and terrible, flooding back. Southern District Commander Paul Basham says Buchanan did an outstanding job.
I suspect he'll feel a strong sense of obligation to Sergeant Guthrie, his police colleagues and to the police family to get the event this weekend right, and I think he's done that in spades, and I commend him for that.
Port Chalmers Sergeant Stu Guthrie was shot by Gray when he attended the scene, becoming the 32nd police officer killed in the line of duty. The flag on top of the Port Chalmers police station rests at half-mast. Speaking after the day's service, Paul Basham says losing a fellow officer is just like losing a family member.
We're a whānau. You know, it's sad and it's poignant as we gather today, but there's a tremendous sense of esprit de corps. Even those that have retired or left police, you never really leave, you're always part of the family, and those men and women will gather today, they'll share their grief, they'll support one another, and they'll celebrate some of those memories as well. So today's a very important day.
Police have released video tributes to Sergeant Guthrie on the 30th anniversary of what's become known as the Aramoana massacre. Paul Buchanan says people gather every year to reflect and talk, but he said he wanted to make the 30th anniversary special. At Aramoana, the South Today.
A Dunedin Youth Court judge has ruled a fatal accident near Mosgiel last year was due to serious failings that were not the fault of the driver. A two-car collision at the intersection of Church Road West left 2 people dead and a teenage driver so concussed he was unable to remember much of the day's events. Judge Dominic Flatley said last week the left-hand stop sign was so obscured by foliage that the driver might never have seen it. However, it was only a photograph from an Otago Daily Times photographer that proved it. The trial also heard from several witnesses who lived in the area, all of whom described the dangerousness of the particular intersection. The public have been invited to submit their thoughts on a proposed development near Queenstown. Public submissions closed tonight for the development of Ladies Mile between the Shotover River and Lake Hayes.
Queenstown's Ladies Mile, currently an area of green paddocks more or less along the northern side of the main road between Arrowtown and Frankton, is set to become a massive new housing and commercial development. The Queenstown Lakes District Council is developing a master plan for the area, with 2 community sessions being held last week, which included showing 3 options for how far the development will extend towards nearby Lake Hayes.
How far does Ladies Mile develop to the east towards Lake Hayes? And so the 3 options are quite different. One goes reasonably close, but still keeping a significant sort of open space area on the edge. Another one is sort of pulls it back further, and another one again pulls it significantly back.
Ladies Mile Consortium Project Director Bruce Harland says the number one priority for many is how to deal with the already badly congested highway and whether a second bridge over the lower Shotover River will be needed.
What's happening with State Highway 6 is, are we doing a new bridge? That's probably the number one on everyone's list. How do we improve that? Yep. That's by far the most significant issue.
About 140 people turned up for this week's sessions, and people have until midnight tonight to submit their opinions to the local council online. But Harland says there'll be another chance for people to submit ideas in February.
So it's a short window at the moment, but we're very much gathering information that we'll use for that next draft, and there'll be a much longer period for feedback on that.
Following February's public consultation, the council is set to adopt the master plan for Ladies Mile in April. In Queenstown, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, local heroes are recognised and celebrated in Dunedin, and Victorian days are remembered in Oamaru. Ka kite akua nei.
الرحمن الرحيم المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر.
Hi, Alex Campbell Menswear. We're back in George Street on the corner of Hanover Street. Come and check out our big store. It's a big space full of bargains. Now look at these shirts. There's shirts for everybody here. Look at these MERINO pullovers, stacks of moleskins, literally tons of trousers. Check out these big racks of sports jackets. Beautiful.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So come and check out Alex Campbell Menswear. We're back on George Street in the old ANZ building.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Allied Press and the Otago Daily Times are, an integral part of business in Otago and the South, and these awards are really our opportunity to celebrate and amplify what goes on in this part of the world and the successes that we have.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
Hoki mai anō. A new awards ceremony was launched at the Otago Museum on Saturday. Winners included Orokonui Eco Sanctuary educator Taku Mackenzie, who was declared Educator of the Year and also Otago Person of the Year. Award organisers described Mackenzie as an incredible force in our community. Dunedin surveyor Toby Stoff was also honoured with a Local Hero Award for his recent successful work to restore Baldwin Street's title as the steepest in the world. Stoff spent hundreds of hours mounting Baldwin Street's case to be reconsidered by Guinness World Records. Oamaru's Victorian heritage was celebrated over the weekend with a host of events. Organisers say everything went off with a hitch of a corset and a hustling bustle.
It was possibly more than just a jump to the left as Oamaru went on its annual Victorian time walk.
And today we've had the grand parade this morning, followed by the grand photograph, where we managed to get everybody from the parade in for a photograph. So we had all of the costumes and all of the different vehicles and things in there, as well as the two pipe bands, one from North Otago and one from Christchurch.
There was definitely more hustle and bustle in Oamaru over the weekend, with organisers saying more people chose to dress in period costume this year.
It has been phenomenal. We've had so many people turn up in costume, more than we have over the last few years. A lot of locals getting involved. It has been absolutely fantastic to see how many people have actually turned up to celebrate today. And with the beautiful sunshine, it's been absolutely perfect.
The weekend's events were the pinnacle of festivities, which began last week as the North Otago town tarted itself up in very old-school finery.
And the window display competition, which is where local retail businesses display Victorian in their windows for the week of the celebrations.
Victorian Heritage Celebrations Coordinator Anisha Lee says the global COVID-19 pandemic may have given people more time to prepare for the event while in lockdown, and they now enjoy being able to gather en masse in public. The Wizard of Christchurch took part in events, including a walk through town accompanied by vintage vehicles. In Oamaru, the South Today.
The visiting West Indies cricket team were finally able to exit isolation over the weekend and start practicing for their first matches in Queenstown. The The team have spent 2 weeks in quarantine since arriving in the country late last month.
40 West Indies cricket team members and their staff were enjoying the sunshine at Queenstown's John Davies Oval over the weekend as they prepared for their test matches and T20I games in December. Their manager says they're very happy to be finally out of doors and enjoying the warm spring weather after 14 days in quarantine.
Last time we were here there was snow on the mountain tops.
Right.
As I look there now, I can still see some snow, but at least the sun is out.
Yeah.
And just being at this beautiful facility and the boys can actually get to practice in the outdoors, do what they love doing, do what they came here to do. We are very happy for that.
The team are set to play 2 warm-up games against New Zealand A at the Queenstown Events Centre at the end of this month.
Now that the guys have the opportunity to start playing, that's what we would like them to do, to be out there to play cricket, and we are looking forward to actually getting some games, to get the feel of the conditions. There are a lot of new players, first time to New Zealand, so we want to give them the opportunity to go and see how the pitches would play, the different conditions.
December will see the players flying north to play 2 test matches and 3 other games in the North Island. In Queenstown, the South today.
After the break on the South today, a capacity crowd enjoys Southern Speedway action in Invercargill, and we have your early week weather for you. Hea koko ake nei.
You're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer. You owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
So business success for us is about really shaping people's future and making sure they're successful. So there's a nice synergy into these awards. Quite often as Kiwis, we don't have tall poppy syndrome, and we don't often shout from the rooftops when people are doing really well or businesses are doing cool and innovative things. And I guess this is a good opportunity to actually take stock and recognise some of those people, and we're really proud to be involved with it.
Hi, Alex Campbell Menswear. We're back in George Street on the corner of Hanover Street. Come and check out our big store. It's a big space full of bargains. Now look at these shirts. There's shirts for everybody here. Look at these MERINO pullovers, stacks of moleskins, literally tons of trousers. Check out these big racks of sports jackets. Beautiful.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So come and check out Alex Campbell Menswear. We're back on George Street in the old ANZ building.
Step into Shop on Carrot and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen, and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Ah, TV, our favourite babysitter. But it can be tough keeping up with what our tamariki are watching. Luckily, the Broadcasting Standards Authority has made some smart changes to the classification labels. Ooh! plus changes to the time of day certain rated shows will air, and awesome new parental lock features, meaning your babysitter's job is safe. Find out more at safeviewing.co.nz.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر
MERINO, welcome back. Thousands of Speedway fans watched as nearly 100 drivers tore up the track at the ILT Foundation Riverside Speedway on Saturday. Competitors from across the South Island revved into the annual X Factor Cars Riverside Speedway event. Organisers say the arena reached its capacity of about 3,000. Drivers competed in Memorial Championships, and for the first time, sprint cars raced for the new Stag Cup. A planned fireworks display was cancelled because of poor weather and has been rescheduled for the end of this month. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. A handful of protesters blocked the entrance to Balance Agri-Nutrients this morning near Mosgiel. The 30th anniversary of the mass shooting at Aramawana was commemorated at the weekend. And if you want to have your say on Queenstown's Ladies' Mile, the deadline for submissions closes this evening. And now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, we have Hayden Meikle with us this evening. Kia ora, Hayden.
Good evening, Simon. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you doing?
Good, good. Plenty of news around today. Obviously the big news nationally, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern announcing that masks are on their way back for Auckland. So Auckland public transport compulsory from Thursday morning, and quite significantly all domestic flights in New Zealand they want masks in. So Dunedin people, southern people flying anywhere out of Dunedin or Queenstown or Invercargill, the masks have got to go on. So, and also that they haven't ruled out the possibility of compulsory masks for public transport nationwide coming. So look, it's not going to go away in a hurry. It's proven to be quite effective in halting any further COVID-19 outbreaks. So if it comes in, we just have to deal with it. So, as indeed the young people of the region have to deal with school exams, which started today. It's been a long time since I sat one, but probably just a couple of years for you, Simon. NCA started today, and it's it's great. It's a tough time of year for those kids. They're hyper-focused. They want to get good results, and tens of thousands of them around the country sitting. I think physics was the first one today, the poor little blighters. That's not a great start, but anyway. And it's going to get hot too, so the other story tomorrow is the weather. We're getting a run of hot, windy weather coming soon. Of course, fire service is on edge, keeping a close eye on things. It's going to be perfect conditions for any blazes to spark up. Fingers crossed they don't. And down in West Otago, speed limits have been a hot topic for years. So Tapanui has been agitating for years to get their 50k zone extended, and after 3 or 4 years of campaigning, they've finally succeeded. The NZTA announcing today that the 50k zone will extend, I think, some 200 metres towards the sort of Gore exit. So that's great for that town. They're saying they're really delighted with that. But someone who's not happy, and bad news I'll finish on tonight, unfortunately, Susie Bates, our cricket superstar, is out for the whole season. She's damaged her shoulder. She's going to have surgery, have to come back to New Zealand, spend 2 weeks in a hotel, and then have shoulder surgery. So huge blow for fans of Susie, and there are a lot of them because she's great to watch on the cricket pitch. So we'll have all the latest thoughts from her in the sports pages tomorrow. All that and heaps more.
Great, Hayden. Thank you. Now time for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the southern view, the weather's improving in South Dunedin. Looking at the situation where things are declining as the week progresses though. A strong westerly airflow will spread over southern districts tomorrow as a cold front passes over, before another front arrives Wednesday, bringing even colder, gustier southwesterlies and showers. To the towns now, starting in the northwest, it's 18 degrees and rain tomorrow for Greymouth and Westport. Across to the northeast, still enjoying finer weather. Nelson and Blenheim are partly cloudy on to 23 and 25 degrees. Not too bad in Canterbury either, though slightly more overcast. Cloudy in Kaikoura and Christchurch on 22 and 23 degrees, and partly cloudy in Ashburton on 24. Showers prevail down south though, accompanied by strong southwesterlies. Lumsden and Gore both on 16 degrees, Balclutha on 17, and the Catlins reaches 18. Travelling westwards to the Central Lakes, Te Anau experiences strong westerlies and showers too, on 15 degrees. Nor'westers for Wanaka, Queenstown and Alexandra though, all on 19 with rain likely later in the day. The rain shouldn't reach the northern towns tomorrow. You should have fresh northwesterlies and cloud in the inland. Twizel and Omarama both on to 20 degrees. On the coast, freshening northwesterlies for Oamaru and moderate northerlies for Timaru, both with high cloud on 23 and 24 degrees. In Dunedin, some showers tonight with fresh northeasterlies and an overnight low of 11. Dry tomorrow and mostly cloudy, but sun develops in the afternoon. Initial fresh, breezy northeast winds turn to warmer northwesters later on, a high of 23 and a low of 12. And showers develop Wednesday with strong cold southwesterlies, ushering a high of 14 and a low of 8. And in Invercargill, some rain tonight with strong northwesterlies and a low of 11. The rain clears tomorrow for a time as strong northwest winds tilt to westerlies by late morning before showers return late afternoon or evening. A high of 16 and a low of 9. And showers remain on Wednesday with strong cold southwest winds, a high of 12 and a low of 7. And that's the news this Monday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz or follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Nō reira, kia pai te pō, ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.